Welcome to San Joaquin Spotlight, a public affairs program featuring conversations about life in the central San Joaquin Valley. This program is brought to you in partnership between KFSR 90.7 FM and CMAC Fresno. I'm your host, Sevag Tateosian. Today we're out and about. San Joaquin Spotlight is on the road. We are at the Airport Piccadilly Inn at the Scareanormal convention. Follow me inside. Welcome back. We're here with Michael Berryman. Michael has been in numerous films, but he's also been in The Devil's Rejects. Michael, welcome to the program.
Well, thank you very much. Good morning, Fresno. I used to come up here when I was a little kid. We had family friends that were actually farmers. We'd get up at 4:30 in the morning, drive the tractor, irrigate, come back, have a huge country breakfast. Yeah, I like it.
There you have it. Yeah, he's actually connected to Fresno. So talk about what projects you're working on.
Presently I have, I'll start from just 2 years ago. I did a movie with Eddie Furlong called Below Zero, filmed it in Canada in 15 days. Excellent script. And it's a little thriller. It's went around the world at film festivals. I highly recommend it. And if you see, I've got a stack of scripts, but I can't really mention the projects until we're greenlit and ready to go. I have two things on YouTube right now. One is a music video that is, there was a blonde in the original Hills Have Eyes named Susan Lanier. She married Delaney Bramlett, so her name is Suze, S-U-Z-E, Lanier hyphen Bramlett. And we have a YouTube song called Watch What You Ask For. We filmed it in Woodland Hills near where we live. And it's about the perils of online dating. She turned into be an incredible cabaret singer, and so look for that. The other one is on YouTube also. It's called Hell's Kitty, Episode 10.
Hell's Kitty,
Episode 10. And Detective Pluto comes to this gentleman's apartment because some bad things have happened. It's very comedic, and he has a possessed cat that's actually not.
How did you get involved in this industry?
I was on my way to Homestead in Alaska, and I went to Washington State, and I helped a friend rebuild a house that had burnt down. And after 7 weeks, we had the roof on. I said, I got to run back to Santa Monica and pick up my things, and I'm going to go to Alaska and Homestead because I love the woods. I mean, this is the gateway to the redwoods here in Fresno. So that was my plan, but I got sidetracked. I had a little gift shop in Venice Beach, California. I think it was around 1973. And a gentleman walked in my store and he said, "My name is George Powell." He handed me a business card that said Warner Brothers. And I said, "Aren't you the guy that did War of the Worlds?" And he's doing this, and he goes, "Look, you'll fit the part to play a coroner in a movie called Doc Savage." And I go, "Oh, you mean based on those books?" And he goes, "Yes." He says, "Just calm down. I guarantee you, I'll give you a 2-day guarantee, and you can get in the Screen Actors Guild." And I go, "Well, that's real nice, but I'll take you up on that." Worked 2 days, made like a couple $100. I had a SAG card, and I go, "Cool, now I can go to Alaska." Well, the phone rang, and it was George's casting director, who was also casting for a little movie called One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
With that Jack Nicholson guy. And that's how it started. The third movie was The Hills Have Eyes. And after that, I realized this is fun.
So it sounds like it was kind of by accident, and then one thing led to another,
Yes.
and here you are today.
That's correct. See, if I was more mature, I could make grown-up decisions and actually plan my life.
Is it something that you're glad you did? I mean, looking back at all of the little things that have happened and led to your career, is it good? Is this something that ended up good for you?
Honestly, absolutely. I thank George every time I have an interview. I go, "Thank you, George," because he asked me, he said, "Please, if anybody asks you how you got started, tell them that George Powell discovered Michael Berryman." And it's kind of like in the old Hollywood tradition. Somebody, met somebody at a pharmacy or at a coffee shop, that kind of thing. And see, I have a minor in art history from California, University of California, but I kept being told by my instructors that unless you're a professor with tenure, you're not going to make a living because the United States doesn't support the arts very, very much. I'm going, okay, that's cautionary. Maybe I'll take your advice. Well, I actually had another situation come about in 1948. I was born with a fused cranium. I have, birth defects, as I said. So my condition actually required that my skull the top was actually cut into little rectangles and actually put together like a puzzle, or I would have died. My father was a world-renowned neurologist in Los Angeles, and if it hadn't been for Children's Hospital, I wouldn't be here. So I got really lucky on the operation, but one of the conditions that I have is I cannot dissipate body heat, and there's a few other issues to be concerned with. Those issues and concerns kept me out of the job market for many, many professions, from driving truck. I had to give that up. Worked in food and beverage for many years. You name it, I did it, all the way to an assistant chef. Too hot in the kitchen. So George gave me an opportunity to fall into an artistic realm of employment that is creative, powerful. You can be silly or you can be serious, make a message, tell the story. Long story short, he gave me an opportunity to have a life and a career, so I'm very grateful.
We have a lot of people in Fresno watching this program and listening to us as well on radio. What advice would you give them? I mean, Fresno, we're a little far from Los Angeles, so we're not a big place where movies can be made and stuff like that. But what advice would you give someone who wants to get into this industry?
Oh, good. I would say find out what area that is of interest to you. It might be screenwriting. There's a lot of if you're into screenwriting, I recommend a book. It's called Save the Cat.
Save the Cat?
Yes. There's 3 volumes. The first one is sufficient. It's by Blake Snyder. He's recently passed away, but he wrote the definitive, easy to read and understand how to format the various areas of storytelling so it's presentable to someone in the industry. I recommend Save the Cat. Now, if you're interested in makeup or something like that, we have some experts in this very room that work on Face Off, and that's a good area. And also your local, if you have a film commission or your local city council or chamber of commerce, they can encourage by some advertising and whatnot to the Hollywood area to let people know what's available here in Fresno, because a lot of films are shot on location. It's expensive to film in LA. So you can do your own work. Also, you have a local university, or you can have film festivals. So you can start with those areas, and then start getting names and addresses of people that you bump into. Eventually, it could turn into something.
Thank you so much for your time.
You could even wind up being you,
hosting a program, or the very important volunteers that are on the cameras now. We do this program week in and week out, and people don't realize that this is a complete volunteer crew, from behind the cameras to the editing and all that stuff. So
it just might be a labor of love, and again, I think that's the highest compliment you can give yourself. Make your hobby your career. You'll try to be your own boss, and just enjoy it. Remember, every day's a gift, so don't waste it.
And how can people find out more information about you? Do you have a website, a Facebook, or anything like that?
I've had things like that in the past, but as Mr. Forey mentioned, I'm on Facebook. I can't respond to every request. However, it's a good way to see where we're going, what we're doing. That's pretty much it. And if you Google me, there's all kinds of information.
Good or bad?
I'd say 90+% of it's accurate. Some of it's not, but oh well.
Michael Berryman, thank you so much.
My pleasure. Come on out and have fun.
We'll be back after this. Welcome back. We're here with Felissa Rose. Felissa, welcome to Fresno.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
Before this convention, had you heard of Fresno?
Of course. I've been living in California for 10 years, and I'm so happy to finally be in Fresno, and everyone has been incredibly sweet and supportive and loving. It's been great.
What's going on over here today?
Well, we're here at Scareanormal, and it's a horror convention. And fortunately, it's brought together all of the creme de la creme of the horror biz. A lot of friends and family that I've been fortunate enough to work with. And, you just kind of mingle and meet wonderful fans and supportive friends who have been watching these incredible movies for many years. And it's just a great place to hang out and get into your horror.
Talk about this project, Sleepaway Camp. It's on your desk right now. Tell our audience about what it is.
Okay, well, just a few years ago, back in 1982, we filmed a little movie called Sleepaway Camp, and it was, a lot like Victor Miller, who's sitting next to me. I'm so lucky. His Friday the 13th. It was a camp slasher back in the day. And my character was a young girl who ran around the camp and did some naughty things. And we had a twist ending. So fortunately, with the fans, it has been remembered and it's resonated where we're still talking about it today. So I love Sleepaway Camp. I feel very lucky to have been a part of it.
How did you get involved in the industry? I mean, in interviewing a lot of people here, some of them, it was by accident. Talk about how you got involved.
I was just like this little girl in New York who really wanted to do what all kids want to do, sing and dance and play. And my mom took it a step further and got me a manager. And they said, they're looking for a little girl to work in this movie. And I met with the director, Robert Hiltzik, and he cast me in the role. And it sort of took on a life of its own where I've been working in this genre for many years. Because again, the fans of horror movies are unlike anyone ever. They are the most loyal, loving, supportive people who follow you and really kind of just get into your work, and it's like nothing else. So I've been very lucky to get into this genre, and I've done, about 50 films, and I feel lucky.
Had you been scared? I mean, aren't you afraid of horror films? And here you are starring in them.
You know what? When I was younger, I was terrified by the Michael Berryman, The Hills Have Eyes. He terrified me, or Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But then as you start creating the films, and when you're in the films, you see what really goes on. So now we're kind of like, oh yeah, dump the blood on us. All right, cut that head off. Get the machete. We're ready. So now it's kind of like old hat. But in the beginning, it was terrifying.
What does your friends and family say when you star in these scary movies? I imagine they're protective of you, saying, run, run.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, my husband, Darren Miller, is a huge horror fan. That's how we actually met. He was a fan of Sleepaway Camp. And, they love it. It's exciting. It's exhilarating. They are screaming or cheering me on, or, you're the victim, so we don't want anything bad to happen. But I don't allow my kids to watch. They're too little. At this point, no. You can see Mommy's movies later on.
But when they get older and they say, I want to be in horror films, what do you say, Mommy?
I say, it's a wonderfully creative and imaginative field. I mean, whether you're doing the special effects or you're the actress in the movie, just do the best at what you're doing.
How can people find out more information about you, what projects you're working on? You've been in a lot of films.
Well, I'm on Facebook all the time. So
okay.
Get in Felissa Rose, or I'm on Twitter, Felissa_Rose. I have a movie coming out with the lovely Danielle Harris and Eric Roberts called Dead TV. I'm in preparation for a new movie with Billy Zane and Dee Wallace called Elephant's Graveyard. And now I'm producing a movie with a lot of the actors here called Death by Solicitation.
I have a question. It might be off-topic question, but when you're out and about and fans come and talk to you, does that get annoying, or do you encourage them to talk to you?
Oh my gosh, it's the best thing. I encourage it. I love it. I could sit here for hours talking to people. I hear the best stories. I make new friends. We hang out after the convention. It's a wonderful experience.
Thank you so much for the interview.
Thank you. Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
We'll be back after this. Welcome back to the program. We're here with Danielle Harris. Danielle is in one of my favorite movies, Halloween. Danielle, welcome to the program.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you for being here.
Sure.
So let me ask you a general question, off topic, but Fresno, had you ever heard of it before coming to Fresno?
I've been here actually. I live in California, so of course I've heard of Fresno. But one of my best girlfriends grew up here.
Okay, there you go.
I shot a short film here with her about 5 years ago.
Incredible. So let's talk about Halloween. Is that what people know you from? Because I grew up watching Halloween.
Yeah, that would be the number one.
How did you get involved in that movie? Because Halloween, when I was younger, I was scared.
Yeah, it was just an audition, you know. I mean, I was an actor in New York City as a kid actor, and auditioned and got the part. So, and then here I am, 26 years later.
Talk about when you were making the movie, a lot of blood or fake blood, a lot of like weapons and knives and stuff. Did that scare you?
No, I mean, I wasn't really around for a lot of the hardcore stuff, and Michael never actually got me, so I was spared the scared.
And then horror movies in general. Do you have family members and friends that say, no, don't do it, it's scary?
No, they like it. I mean, my grandma will be like, oh, God, that movie you did, there's so much blood, but no, they don't say don't do it.
What other projects do you have coming up that you would like our audience to know about?
Right now, actually, Hatchet 3's on at Sid as well as in, Kane Hodder and a bunch of people actually are video on demand right now. So that's kind of the number one thing that everyone can see today, and that comes out on video or DVD, Blu-ray the end of August, as well as Among Friends, the movie that I directed, is end of August as well.
When you're out and about and fans come to you and they talk to you and want your autograph, does that bother you if it's, let's say, personal time when you're out eating or something?
No, not at all. If I'm at a convention and I've been talking to people all day and then I sneak away for like a 10-minute quick bite and then people still come talk while you're like shoving a sandwich in your face, then I'm like, can I just get like 2 minutes? I'll be right back. But if I'm out normally, no, I don't care.
So when you're out and about and people want to come talk to you, you would encourage them to do so?
Oh, yeah, of course.
So in the future, looking 10 years from now, what projects do you foresee yourself working in? I mean, do you want to be in this industry for a long time?
Well, I've already been in it for a long time, so I've been doing it for 31 years. So I'm now moving over into directing and getting married and having a kid and doing all like the normal, regular stuff.
Talk about the difference between acting and directing. Big difference there?
It's an enormous difference, and as a director, you're wearing all of the hats. As an actor, you wear one hat. So,
which one is tougher?
Well, obviously, directing is tougher.
Okay, well, thank you so much for the interview. Welcome to Fresno. Come back anytime.
Sounds good. Mm-hmm.
We're here with Danielle Harris. We'll be back after this. We are here with Tom Hazaert. He is actually the promoter for this wonderful event here in Fresno, California. Tom, what's going on over here?
Lots of stuff, man. A lot of celebrities hanging out, fans meeting them, and, getting autographs, taking pictures. It's a fun little event. We got a lot of vendors and scary people. It's only noon right now. It's like 12:30, and it's already hopping, so.
How did you decide to bring this to Fresno? I mean, you've got a good crowd out here. There's been action all day, and like you said, it's early.
Yeah, well, you know what? It was just, I have a cool partner, Casey, who's from here from the Central Valley Horror Club, and Fresno's just a really supportive horror market. It's kind of centrally located. It's right in the middle of LA and the Bay Area and Sacramento and all the little communities around it. And the local media here has been amazing. Like this week we've been on CBS 3 times, NBC a couple times. The Fox affiliate came out and did a 4-hour live remote yesterday. The local media has been real supportive, and it's just been a great event. The community is real supportive, and it's been very cool.
Why should people come out? I mean, let's say that they're sitting at home and they're just watching TV. Why would you encourage them to come out?
Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you want to come out and hang out with Sid Haig and Danielle Harris, and we got some Porkies and Kim Poirier from Dawn of the Dead, and John Dugan from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Michael Berryman, and why wouldn't you?
It sounds like you have a lot of great actors and actresses here.
Look around, man. Noel G is right there from Training Day.
So, I mean, and it sounds like everybody here is like a family. I mean, I hear jokes all morning. I've heard Sid pick on people over there. I mean, is this like a family here?
Oh, yeah. They were busting my balls all day, telling me to put a couple years. They were saying a couple years ago to show Andrew and Sid and somebody else. They were setting up. They came in there setting up tables, and they told them to take Alex Vincent and put him at a little circle round table and called it the kids' table. And all day after they're saying, get a little round table for Alex.
Tom, how can...
You know Alex is a kid from Child's Play.
Yeah,
exactly.
He's sitting over there on the other side of the room.
Walt Phelan, Dr. Satan from House of a Thousand Corpses, the guys from The People Under the Stairs, Brandon Adams from The Mighty Ducks and The Sandlot. I mean, it's really a cool collection of people, and it's a really cool.
Is this something you do often? I mean, how often does this go on, and where's the next trip?
Everywhere. I mean, honestly, I do probably 30 shows a year. I'm actually a talent agent. I represent most of the people here, actually. So I usually go with them to other people's conventions, and I just deal with their stuff. I mean, and this is a little different. It's a little on the other side of the coin because I'm the one dealing with. You don't realize how much work actually goes into it until you. I don't know if I can swear or not. So I caught myself. So usually yesterday I was on Fox, and I'm sitting here doing this interview in Fox, and I'm like, don't swear. You just.
And I know that
I got to keep my filter on or not, because I usually don't have one.
I know that your phone has been ringing off the hook because I personally have been calling you a couple times a day, and that's just me. So probably your phone is going off the hook right now.
It is right now.
So how can people get a hold of you or find out what you're doing?
They can add me on Facebook, or I have a couple fan pages, or for this you can add Scareanormal, or I'm an easy guy to find. Type my name into Google. It's not that hard.
Is there should we expect this to go on year after year?
I hope so. If people come out and support it and it does well, we're planning to make it an annual event. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, it's noon on the first real day, so we'll see how it goes. But so far, it's positive. I mean, we're already hopping, and it's 12:30 in the morning. We got 8 more hours, so I think it's going to be a really positive day, and it's going to be good. So
we're here with the promoter of Scareanormal, Tom Hazaert. Tom, thank you so much for the interview.
Thank you. Have a great show.
Thank you. We'll be back after this. We're here with Kaci Hansen. Kaci has been a part of what's going on today here at Scareanormal. Kaci, what's going on over here?
Everything horror, everything paranormal, and even some pop culture. We're really, really excited to see the horror community of the Central Valley and areas beyond come out and support Scareanormal.
What's exciting about Kaci is she's actually from the Valley, so you're from Visalia.
Yes, lifelong resident.
Does this stuff happen normally in the Valley? Because I never hear about it.
No, this is actually the first horror convention to ever take place in Central California. I did found Central Valley Horror Club in 2008, and every month since then I've been doing horror-themed events in the Valley. I do the monthly B Movies and Brews events here in Fresno at Full Circle. I do the Flicks at Fatty's at Fatty Albert's Pizza in Visalia. I do the annual Visalia Zombie Ball and Crawl, which was actually the first zombie-themed event to ever take place in all of Central California, and now I'm involved with this.
What about the people that say there's nothing going on in Fresno? Because we hear this often.
I hear that all the time, and that was actually one of the primary reasons I wanted to start Central Valley Horror Club. I didn't think that it was right that we had to travel 3.5 hours to do something really, really fun, and one time a year spend a bunch of money. I said there could be a horror community here, and I said I'm going to throw it out there. If it takes off, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But fortunately, it did take off, and it led me to being involved with something like this and meeting so many amazing people, and getting to bring this event right to the backyard of the Central Valley residents, because a lot of people, they've never been able to attend a con before. It's too expensive. They don't have the means of transportation, and it's amazing that we get to do this for the community.
So should we expect something like this next year? This year it's going great. I see a lot of people in there, and we're early into the program.
We're already talking about next year.
That's incredible. Kaci, where can people find out more information about you? I know that you have some blogs and stuff you're working on.
Yes, I actually run the homicidalhomemaker.com, where home economics meets horror. I've been featured on FearNet, the Huffington Post. I'm often approached in local stores. People say, aren't you that girl that makes the gross food on the news all the time? What I primarily want to do is make food that's gruesome and disgusting looking, but it's stuff you actually want to eat. Often there's so many recipes online that, yeah, they look gross and they were good for a party, but nobody actually wants to eat them. So I do stuff like my edible entrails, which is actually like a giant pig in a blanket that looks like intestines, and they really look like intestines. So you can find me at thehomicidalhomemaker.com. I'm also on Facebook. If you're at Scareanormal, you can actually try some of my creations here at the event in the bar. I've done some horror-themed cocktails that you can order. They're themed after some of our guests, or themed after some of the movies that they've been in, and I've been getting a good response from people. Some person said that they had 3 of just one drink, so I don't even know how they managed to function around Scareanormal after that. But you can also find me on Central Valley Horror Club, centralvalleyhorrorclub.com. I'll be a little honest, I'm a little bad at updating it because of all the things I have going on, but we are on Facebook and we do update that consistently. You can also find me on the Visalia Zombie Ball. and crawl, but if it's at ViseliaZombieBall.com. And I also run the first and only horror television show to come out of Central California, Friday Night Frights, and we're working on season 2. And I also am on a once-a-month all-female podcast called The Flow.
Wow, you're doing a lot of things.
So you can find me on there. If you like me on The Homicidal Homemaker, I guarantee I post everything I'm involved with on that one page. So
Thank you so much, Kaci, for doing all this great things and bringing this to Fresno.
thank you, and thank you to everyone who supported this event. If it's an event from fans for fans, so if we didn't have people supporting it, we wouldn't have a reason to do it. So thank you.
That's all for this edition of San Joaquin Spotlight. Thank you to 90.7 KFSR Fresno and CMAC. To everybody watching and hearing this program, tune in next week to a new edition. And, of course, I can't mention thank you to Kaci for having us here. Thank you also to the volunteer crew that made this production possible.